Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Booking Now. I am your humble host Q. We are live. I'm so excited to be here today, and as always, I want to thank you all for joining me on this continued journey of empathy, growth, and understanding. We're going to jump right into it today. I'm very excited for my guest. He's a 3-time Grammy nominee. He's also won 2 BET Awards for his contributions to R&B with the R&B Album of the Year and Best Male R&B Singer. So we're going to start right in. Welcome to the show,
hey,
Raheem DeVaughn. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Right on.
I know you're a busy man, but we always start at the beginning. I want to ask you, how did you get started in music?
Oh man, it was always a passion. I think it's in my blood. I've been linked DNA wise to people like Quincy Jones and Common and a few others, through AfricanAncestry.com. So
really,
I think it's definitely, same tribe, same vibes.
Yeah.
My father is a retired jazz cellist, known as Abdul Wadud, in the musician, in the jazz musician world. And it's just a passion. It's something I always had a passion to do. As an artist, I would say that I cultivated my style and my artistry in the Northwest Corridor, U Street, 14th and U.
Yeah.
A place formerly known as Bar None. I use that to kind of shed. Prior to that, I've been in a few R&B groups, even part of a rock band at one point.
Really?
Here in DC called Tree of Soul. Met some cool cats along the way like Wes Felton and Tone Walters and through that whole bar none scene, morphed into a group called Urban Ave 31, as well as a group with Wes Felton called The Crossroads, where we just put out our 3rd album after 15 years.
Right.
Laying dormant. Back in 2017, album called Footprints on the Moon. So, back in 2002, I decided to do my first major deal as a recording artist, nationally and globally, and it went well. Fast forwarding to 2010, I found a loophole to get out of the deal, and I've been independent for the last 8 going on 9 years now.
Really?
6 albums later, about 30 mixtapes in the game, a few independent albums and obscure projects with like Wes and Urban Ave 31, and hey man, we still have my name in the game. 13 years, to still be able to have your name mentioned in the conversation. Absolutely. Man. What an honor. Yeah.
And how did you get started? A lot of people, you'll have that innate, just feeling that quality, like you said, going back to your roots, right? How did you make that decision? This is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm good at.
Something I always wanted to do. I mean, I started doing studio sessions while I was at Copper State College. I didn't graduate, but I attended for 3 semesters, and I would cut class a lot and go and sing. And then I met people in Baltimore with studios and started to understand the recording process and throw myself right into that process. And man, it was kind of like attending the School of Arts, what I'm saying, on the street level, and from there just kind of just morphed into where I am now. But I'm self-taught on a lot of things that I do. I'm fueled by ambition and by the word no, and people tell me that I can't do things. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's but yeah, that's kind of I went so far as to I guess you could say where I started to monetize it. I won a contest at Bar None. An open mic contest for like $2,000, and with that $2,000, I took that and went and bought a CD burner. Yeah. And
what year is this?
Yeah, this is like, man, you talking like 99, 98 maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? And bought a CD player and put this group together, Urban Ave 31. Me and Omar Retinue, we ended up getting a place together, and which allowed me to have a studio right there in the crib.
Right
he was
there.
the engineer, made the beats, and the rest was history, man. We just kind of like started to make noise and do performances and see the world, and and then I decided, I always wanted to do the solo thing too, in a more mainstream R&B.
Right.
So conscious music and 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 then your contemporary R&B, and soul or neo soul at that time was what it was coined, has always been my thing.
How did you? What were your influences?
Man, my influences are a fusion of probably like Marvin Gaye meets Prince with Jay Dilla on the beats.
Okay.
Something like that.
I do hear
It's
that.
like Marvin meets Prince meets your favorite MC. Like pick one. You know what I mean? And when I say that, because I'm heavily influenced by the rap culture, by hip hop as well. It's always been like that. I could have easily been a rapper. I'd have had the patience. My next question. I'd have had the patience to be a rapper. I didn't.
What kind of patience?
I didn't have what it took, because a lot of people are who they say they are. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's I understood the art of storytelling, but I didn't have the patience to sit down and write. It probably would take me like 6 months to just complete a song. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an MC, and I'm one of those people that believes that at some point you're gonna get whatever it is you're talking about.
Right.
You have to stand on that. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So, but like you said, 30 mixtapes, 6 studio albums.
Yeah.
Now we're here, Decade of a Love King.
Yeah, man.
Released about a month ago, right?
It's been about a month now. The album's been out. It dropped October 19th.
How does that feel to let that go?
Oh man, it's good.
It's been a couple years, right?
Yeah, I'm in a good place though. By the third song on this album, I'm talking about marriage and just different things. You know what I mean? So, being in my world, it requires making tough decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But sometimes just tough decisions are the best decisions for you. So for me, I feel like this album is. I hope it speaks and shows my growth as, of course, a singer and a songwriter and a vocalist and as a performer on stage, but more so my growth as a man. You know what I mean? And my growth in my spirituality and becoming closer to God. Like that's I say it time and time again. It's probably the closest I've ever been to God in my life, and just just really understanding the domino effects of karma and just trying to put positive energy out there and positive thoughts.
Absolutely.
And because much like what I found, just being an R&B singer and a soul singer is no different than being a hip hop artist. At some point, you're gonna get the rug's gonna get pulled from up underneath you, and some lucky woman's gonna come along and steal your heart, or you may have, you may be in a situation with multiple women or whatever, where they say like, yo, is this, what I'm saying? Is this like, is that what the Love King does? You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, I always had this talent and this gift for being able to, I think, to bring people together. But I felt like I wasn't for a long time deserving of the things that I wrote and sung about. You know what I mean? So I could have these wonderful songs, but
why you think that?
But when I got off stage, I would disconnect from them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I had to do a lot. I had to do a lot with my conditioning and just things I saw and experienced over the last 30 years. You know what I mean? So as I got into therapy and self-therapy, I realized that all this behavior that I thought was normal is actually totally abnormal. Right. You know what I mean? Like that I am deserving of a God-fearing monogamous relationship. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or I am deserving of being able to abstain, you know what I'm saying? Or just like control urges, or being able to say no. That's my choice, to be able to say no. Or like everything that come my way ain't for me, or you know what I mean? It's like absolutely. It's certain things that that's like as a man, that my dad didn't have the opportunity to show me and teach me. Not because he wasn't in my life, but because he wasn't in my household. You know what I'm saying? So so growing up, I was one of those kids that had to, young men that had to bump his head a few times to understand just the purpose of what, when God provides a person in your life, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, so me speaking from a male standpoint and women, like, just really understanding the purpose of what women and a right woman in your life can be a blessing to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times as men, sometimes we get like what I call it. It's called the 9 lives effect. Like
Okay,
with God, like God in the universe gives us multiple times to kind of like mess up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like where it's like, you know, so you'll have a few that are like the ones that got away, or you know, and that type of thing. But it's just like, you know, as I mean, how many more chances? After a while, it's like, hey man, I'm not gonna keep, you know. Then you start to be chastised.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so it's really just an awakening that I had in terms of like being a man versus becoming a man, becoming a solid dude, and just being completely honest, and like, and I just realized that, you know, after a lot of failed relationships and you know, having children with multiple women and just these different things, and it's not a shot at any of my kids' moms, want to be clear on that.
Yeah.
But it's just that, you know, people even in your life for a reason or for a season, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times men, and I can only speak for men who are dishonest, you know what I'm saying, in relationships and stuff like that, or, you know, you have some men that are raised in what, you know what I'm saying, it's like the player mentality, or where they saw their father, you know, have multiple women or cheat on their mom, or, you know what I'm saying, or you have you know, you have scenarios where you have young men who come from a background where they had their mother and their dad there, and and that's all what they've seen. You know what I'm saying? 30 years, and you know what I mean. So whatever the circumstance, you take that on, and that becomes your reality. You know what I'm saying? And if it ain't nobody there to correct that, you can be thinking you're functioning on what's like normal behavior, and you know what I mean. Like, just me coming from a single parent household, like I you know, once I made the conscious decision to change my life and take charge of my life, like, that no longer becomes an excuse. I ain't have my dad in my household every day. It's a lot of people that don't have that, but I thought that was normal.
Right. It's your
because that's
reality.
and I had homies and people that I grew up with that had that same scenario. So for us to have, you know, so when we had those 1 or 2 friends who had the mom and the dad household, it was kind of like getting a little glimpse of like what the Huxtables look like in real life. And like, dang, like this ain't normal. Nah, that is what is normal. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, you know, you know, change requires stripping yourself down and breaking yourself down, and to be greater. You know what I mean? And I hope in the process, if I can help somebody, help another young man or young men out there, or women, you know what I'm saying? In that process, you know, then so be it. You know, so I don't think I've reached my full calling yet of what it is I'm here to do. You know, but to bring it back full circle to the music, it makes it so much more surreal and easy to make music and to enjoy it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
For a long time, I could listen to my music, but I couldn't not say enjoy it, but it just all sounds different to me now, because the places where I'm at in my life now versus where I was 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 24 months ago. You know what I mean?
Well, are some of these songs that old too?
Yeah, some of them. Yeah. Well, what it is I just record so much. You know, I go in the studio and do 2-3 songs a day. Yeah, it's really, you know, based on where my spirit at and where and what the music sound like, and how fast the engineer is, and just where I'm at that day. I don't, you know, my creative process, I don't write anything down. So it's really in the moment, matters of the heart or matters of the world. Like, it's really just what I want to talk about that day. Do I want to talk about, you know, living like we bulletproof, or do I want to talk about, you know,
more vulnerable?
Yeah, I want to show the vulnerability of a man, or, you know, bring people together, not just for intimacy, but just good times. And, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And one of the things that stuck out to me on the album, like you said, Couple songs in, just hit number 4 on the Billboard.
Yeah,
Don't Come Easy.
Yeah, we headed for number 1.
Yeah,
I ain't happy. I'm thankful for the 4.
Yeah,
but I need that number 1 though.
For
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? That means something. You
yeah.
know?
But for the folks that maybe haven't heard the song yet for some weird reason,
Yeah.
let's play the music video showing
Hey,
the
let's get to it.
visuals as well.
Yes, sir. I've seen those kind of mics before. They pick up everything. Huh?
Everything, yeah.
That's dope.
So again, the maturity, the growth.
Yeah.
I love this record.
Thank you.
And you, again, going for number 1, what were you trying to convey? Just again throughout the whole album.
For me, it's always about a body of work. I'm big on bodies of work.
For sure. You got the axe in there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this album is probably a little more grown and mannish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, it speaks to, it's a love story. You know what I'm saying? It's a complex love story. It's a, you know what I'm saying? And 2 songs in, it's like, hey, whatever. When you talk about matters of the heart, you talking about love, it don't come easy.
Don't come easy.
You gotta put in that work. Like you gotta put in some real work.
From real work.
You know what I mean? And those individuals that you come across, unfortunately, I have this concept about what the soulmate is really represents, because a lot of people say that use the term soulmate, or I want to be with my soulmate. Loosely, right? But I'm one of those guys that believes that the soulmate ain't the person you're supposed to be with. The person you're supposed to be with is a life partner and a best friend. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get beyond, when you talk beyond when you get past the physical part of it and the flesh, like when you take the flesh out and then you start dealing with everyday, real life situations, death, sickness, betrayal, depression, mental illness,
all that.
These different things, you really see, it's your lowest point where you can look around and see who's there and what they're there for,
right,
and why they're there, and who you are for them too,
right,
at their lowest point. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important. It was very important for me, the track listing of it, and I, what I'm saying, man, I let go and let God. I didn't realize what I had done and what I had created and the type of body of work that it's really kind of real time and in real time with where my life is. You know what I'm saying? So it's I couldn't do anything but submit. You know what I mean? Right. To God. You know what I mean? And although this isn't the gospel album or whatever, again, the narrative with this is just black love, you know what I mean? But I got to be walking on that path, and it, you know what I'm saying, or it's really just all in vain. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
like you said about the rappers.
Yeah, so, but by the third song, Wifey, it's really talking about, AKA Tattoo Wedding Bands. It's really just it's the whole song is really it's a wedding song. It's a wedding song, and it's an anti-disrespect song for people to use terms. I won't use profanity on y'all show, but there's certain terms that. There's three words that I say on there that are very loosely used. That we maybe we've even said them in behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying, as men, or whatever. You know what I'm saying, so that's always really just always pushing that my agenda, which is to make women feel beautiful,
right?
To remind them that you're not the thought, you're not this, you're not that. You know what I'm saying? Whether you come from whether you're a rose in the concrete or whether you come straight out of the suburbs, you know what I mean? You still deserve to be treated in a certain light. You know what I mean? And I feel far too many times, as people of black and brown color, we tear our sisters down.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I feel on the planet, probably most disrespected person on the planet is a woman. Is a woman, and then the black woman. The black woman is the most disrespected. But then when you talk about women as a whole, and that's what's so important about the Me Too movement. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And as somebody that was raised, predominantly by, my mom and my grandmother, those are two of the strongest women that I know. You know what I mean? So, I have to, I gotta, there's been times I had to check myself. Right. You know what I'm saying? In the heat of the moment.
You hear that voice.
Or whatever, or you say certain things where it's just it's, at the end of the day, it's still a woman. You know what I mean? And no matter how complex, misunderstood, provoked you may become. Yeah. You know what I mean? We all take our rites of passage to get hit through a woman. It is what it is. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's God's grand design. You
and
can't,
that's been a constant thing.
And who gonna go against God, right?
Right. Which is, in my belief, a woman. God is a woman. But that's been a constant theme throughout all of your music, as far as I've been listening, at least, just empowering women, right? But you still making R&B, it's still grown and sexy, right? I guess my question here is, more along the lines of your relationship with your mom and your grandma, and how, and if they have an influence on.
Oh, definitely, and it can be a positive or negative, you know what I'm saying? Because based on what your relationship is with those motherly figures in your life, will dictate, unfortunately, how loving or chaotic or the relationship is with the woman or the women that you come in contact with. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so what women have to understand is that, when you got to understand as mothers, and fathers have to understand too as fathers, is that if that child is spending this majority of the time with you in that household, based on how y'all interact, is how he's going to go out and treat women. Right. You know what I mean? So if you a type of mother that, or father that, is a nurturer and showing pampering and certain things that you do, one of my things for years was always making sure that, when any of my sons and their mothers, although we not in a relationship,
you gonna respect your mom.
Well, not only that, but like certain times of the year where your mom receives flowers so that you know how to treat a woman. Right. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, so it's important, man. Because sometimes we create early. We be in the early process of creating like some savages.
For sure.
Based on our behavior and how, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They pay attention to every little detail. And our children are not as stupid as we think they are a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And do you think, especially for boys, the culture that we're in and the music, that's being made, do you think that's... Because in my opinion, music is always going to help raise children, no matter what.
Unfortunately, music and television and these different outlets, unfortunately, and I think that it plays a big part, just like the saying, "You are what you eat," you are what you listen to.
Consume.
Like I tell them when we do these in school takeovers, you know what I mean, in terms of with the foundation and building and talking to the youth and lecturing and stuff of that nature. Like, you are what you listen to.
Right. Yeah.
Because here's the thing: by the time you listen to something 2 or 3 times, you're indoctrinated by it. Period.
And it becomes your anthem.
Yeah, no doubt.
In your head. Yeah. And what kind of anthems or what kind of principles are you trying to provide to youth now? You got the foundation, love life, right?
Yeah. Do for self, work for yourself, be self-motivated, you know what I mean? Aspire to inspire. Nobody's going to give you anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be in tune with your hustle and your ambitions. No I in the word team. I go on and on and on. You know what I mean? I just want to motivate them to be great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like tap into your greatness,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed specifically about you is you're always giving back, whether it's through that foundation or just through your actions and just being home. Like, everyone says, the motif is no one from the DMV gives back in the music scene, at least. People blow up or they go away. And you've always incorporated either the culture, the people. You got Chaz, Trell, Fella Day, all on the album. Yeah. And that's always been the case. So, where is that home?
I know for me, like, I'm involved in Chaz's career.
Yeah.
I'm not always vocal about that. You know what I mean? I'm a guy that kind of plays it back. But I was one of the handlers early in his career. Right,
okay.
Now he's moving off and he's doing his thing, and I'm so proud of him.
Shout out Chaz French.
Yeah, so shout out to Chaz French. Same thing with Phil Day. I'm very thankful for Wale and his energy and every blue moon and that really started with a phone call where Wale reached out to me one day or via text or phone call text and said, like, y'all still working with Phil, you still working with Dre, and it just kind of like morphed into what it is now, you know what I'm saying? And I look at and then this Trail, I just think he got this I think he's great. I think he has his
one of my
potential.
favorites. Yeah, he's
Yeah, I
one of my
think he
favorites.
has his potential, man, to really just be out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a matter of time for him staying focused, staying out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know, never not been the workhorse. You know what I'm saying? He one of them guys that could probably record a whole project in a night.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And what is it going to take
when
too
we
real
first,
for the radio?
when we first signed Chaz, I watched Chaz do a whole album in a night. Like 8 records in one night.
Yeah.
Like on some like Pac.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I never was in the studio with Pac, so that was the only thing I could kind of like compare it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, but for me it was bigger, even with Yazara, who's a DC native. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to
That song is hard too.
keep it, you know what I'm saying? Like keep it organic, keep it homegrown, Macy, you know what I'm saying, from the area, you know what I mean? Real truth be told, I'm an outside. I was born in New Jersey. The gag. I'm not even from the DMV. You know what I mean? It's on you know, if you're talking on papers and birth certificates and whatnot, right? But man, I love this area, man. I love DC, every corridor, every nook and cranny. I love Maryland, I love Virginia. You know, Baltimore claims me. You know what I mean? Just as much as DC claims me. You know what I mean? And I feel like that. You know, that's something that I want to be. You know, as I create my legacy, that's something I want to be. I want to be remembered for.
Sure.
I want to be known as one of those guys that put people on. You know what I'm saying? They didn't always have to have the limelight. Didn't always want to be the shine. Didn't always have to be in front to be, you know, to still be a star. You know what I'm saying? And because really being a star means to shine and be a beacon of light.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. And if it wasn't for the moon and the stars, you know, Harriet Tubman wouldn't be able to be who she was and navigate. You see what I'm saying? So I want to just be at times I just want to be the moon and the star for those that just need to take their rites of passage to just become great artists. You know what I mean? One of the biggest fumbles I ever had that, you know, that haunts me probably like to this day is that I didn't sign Logic. Like, it's crazy. I was going through old emails and I saw a email from Logic.
Yeah.
And it was like an email. I'm gonna get it framed and I'm gonna pull up on him one day and have him sign
the email. Yeah.
And it was a dope email, man. And basically it's kind of just spoke to the fact of like, it was addressed to my partner at the time, Andre Hobson, you know what I'm saying, doing the 368 thing. And it was basically addressed like saying, hey man, I still want to do business with y'all, but I'm gonna put this mixtape out.
Yeah.
And at the time I think it was like Sinatra. It was like the mixtape that ended up being right. Yeah. And so he went on to say kind of like the tone of the email was like, I'm still down once you think I'm disrespecting your ideas and your concepts of like what I should be as an artist or whatever. But I remember Raheem telling me that as an artist, there's that burning desire, and you gotta fulfill that desire. Absolutely. And you gotta, like, you know what I mean. Sometimes you just gotta get the art out. We be too consumed about how we gonna monetize it. Sometimes you just put the art out,
just let it go.
And you be surprised with the results of what you have. You know what I'm saying, and what you get right because it's our gift and it comes through us. And once you put it out there, you're no longer in control of like who what ears it falls on and whose lives it changes, right? And so he went on and went on and basically, like, you know, it closed it out, and it was like real
like
fly. It was like kind of like, hey, like, so, you know, just in case this don't pan out, this is what I want to. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I got to get this out. Yeah. And he signed it sincerely. You know what I'm saying. And man, like, that kid just got 30 mil from Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it ain't about the money, man. It's more so about just like people understanding your worth. And one thing I just say about him and just like a lot of the artists here, man, you name them, like, there's a rich culture of soul and hip hop. And I was just scrolling. Shout out to Ari Lennox. She's in Africa. She's in Lagos right now. I've never been to Lagos yet. Yeah. I hear about it all the time, Tabby Bonet and stuff like that. But I say that to say this, man. You know, our gift it can just take us so many different places and just whatever. And it's great to see the city thriving the way it is. And I know what I mean to the city. You know what I'm saying? I know what this city and you know, this whole entire area means to me. More importantly, you know what I mean. So it would behoove me to continue to, you know, wave that flag and do
the 368
and do 368 DMG, whatever you call it. Like these are different brands, you know. 368 was a brand that was cultivated by me and my partner Andre Hobson.
What does 368 mean?
Numerically in your phone, numerically in your phone, it means DMV. You know what I'm saying?
Look down at that.
Yeah, so you know, I still got my chain on here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I always rep it just to remind me what brotherhood should be about, and what, you know, and knowing what it means to me, man. You know, if it's morphed into other things. I have another company as well called DMG, which is DeVaughn Multimedia Group, and you know, I'm getting into, you know, I'm looking to get into television and film and stuff of that nature, and just you know, in my mind originally when I started it, it was kind of like where I would put like the more, you know, like the neo soul and the soul and R&B and eclectic stuff that, you know what I'm saying, that I wanted to be personally like more so hands on with, you know what I mean, and yeah, man, you know, I have my own label now. I ain't gonna speak too much about that other than things are going, you know, as planned, and we still sorting out a few loose ends on the business side, but you know, 2019 and beyond is looking real fruitful. You know what I mean? Not only for me, but for anybody that's down with me and just want to get that work in. I like to work, man. I ain't about a lot of talk. You know what I'm saying? My day started at 3 a.m. this morning. You know what I mean? So with a studio session. So
yeah. So I just kind of want to bring back full circle for the audience. The music, DC. You got your production company, and you mentioned the acting. Yeah. So I think something that kind of wraps all that up into one is the What It Feels Like video. Yeah. So I want we play that for y'all. Y'all can check that out, and we can chat about it.
I like how you did that. You're absolutely right, because it shows the acting a little bit.
Let's check it out.
You can open your eyes now. Look around, you know where we at.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to do something special for date night. I wanted to like take you back to where it all began. You know, when you first fell in love with me, you know what I'm saying? You can laugh, that's supposed to be a joke. I remember like yesterday.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Radio Rodney on Washington, D.C.'s #1 station for hip-hop and R&B. Once again, Raheem DeVaughn eating up the summer with that baby-making music. This is his brand new single, What It Feels Like. Make sure y'all turn up your radios.
I'm gonna be here. If this is what love and light feels like, promise I'm gonna stay here. You make me so happy, like I wanna take you out to eat. You make me so happy, like I just lay here and watch you sleep. You make me so happy, like I wanna bring you breakfast in bed. You make me so happy, like a daydream, I can't get you out of my head. You make me so happy, like I'm giving you a key to my condo. You make me so happy, like my his and hers to match with no card note. You make me so happy, like that I'll be smiling when I'm asleep, baby. You make me so happy, like 7 days of the week, baby. Loving you all night. Yeah, baby. Hey, hey, hey. I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna stay here, loving you all night. Yeah, I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna stay here, loving you. You make me so happy, like I could put a ring on it. So happy happy and could build a throne, so you can be the queen on it. Hey, hey, make me so happy like I tell a preacher I do. You make me so happy like I do the honeymoon too. Yeah, loving you all night. Heaven, I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna stay here, loving you all night. Baby, I promise.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not how we met. I remember it like this.
I can't drive and the bed can't lay, ain't a place I can't go, ain't a limit that I know to prove my love, my love, my love. See, lady, when I was younger, I was easily led astray. The way you whip your love on me, I never wanna get away. This is what love feels like, baby. Then I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna stay right here. You know what I mean? If you ain't, you know, you could be the gangster, but, you know.
Back. We just having a quick chat.
Yeah.
But I think the first question here goes without saying. Who remembered it correctly from the video?
Oh, man. I don't know. That's a trick question, man. You got to elaborate on that when you ask me that.
Yeah, so y'all was sitting in the car.
Yeah.
In the What It Feels Like video. Yeah. So she's sitting there. You said, nah, this is how I remember I got your heart. You know, you walked in with all the swag.
Yeah.
And she said, no, this is how I remember it.
I mean, I think that's the whole purpose of it. Like, that's something you can't be defined, that can't be defined. I think what we really wanted to show and capture is like the, perception of reality. But you can have two different perceptions of what happened.
Yeah.
But you can still meet in the same place and still have like happiness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But that's a great video. Is that part of your production company too? Was it Chris?
Yeah, well, Chris Scala is the director I love to shoot with. Chris is another phenomenal artist. Chris is an artist. Like he's battling with. I knew this day would come. You know what I mean? Like, because he's so popping on the artist side right now.
Yeah.
He got a lot of different labels pulling and yanking at him. And then he's a creative though too, so he enjoys making videos. And he's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
Like he's, you know what I'm saying? I worked with a lot of different directors and stuff over the years, and people and choppers and editors. And he's like, Chris is the truth, man. He's like a complete renaissance, new millennial package of what an artist should be.
Will be.
Can be and should be. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, it's like the Drake effect. You know what I mean? It's like, you had artists that came along before their time that sang and rap, but it wasn't about who did it first. It's about who did it best. And it's just like these kids now, man. They be doing it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you look in the when I'm looking at somebody now, it's kind of like what you don't do.
Yeah, because you got to do more than.
Yeah, man.
You got to do more than sing, more than rap.
Yeah.
You got to have your hand somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do want to ask you about the current, or I guess contemporary R&B, and where it is now, and where you came out of it, right? So it has made this change. How are you feeling about it?
I think we witnessing the hybrid of fusion of R&B and hip hop, where they kind of just become they've become one. So it's like this hybrid of it. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's healthy for R&B?
Yeah, I think anything. I mean, I like it. I'm cool. I'm more, subject matter and what they saying, how they call the women out their name, and just that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that they celebrate. I don't celebrate being a drug addict. I ain't feeling that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just, you know what I mean. So it's like, I come from an era where, if you was a crackhead or you was on pills, like that wasn't celebrated. Like that wasn't fly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people was going the other way. Like you were lame. You know what I mean?
Right.
But now that culture is like it's celebrated. You know what I mean? So it's I think but it's cool, man. Like, I hate titles on our when it comes to black music. I wish it could just be genreless.
Just music.
Yeah, because you should be able to do whatever you want to do, as long as you're good at it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I say all the time, like, what's the difference between Celine Dion and what's the girl? Not Celine Dion. What's my girl from Adele?
Adele. Okay.
And Jill Scott. And you close your eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but it's there's an undertone of systematic. This is racism in the music business. It's like it's like it's been. Everybody seems so shocked by election season.
Right.
Where we live in a country that's divided. There's a lot of people out there that are racist and what they call them, liberals or
liberals, conservatives,
conservatives or whatever the term is. A cool way to say a racist in a suit. You know what I mean? And so it's no different in our business. You know what I'm saying? In terms of them devaluing our art, our black music. You know what I'm saying? Or saying it's not worthy of being on the shelves, or nobody wants to buy CDs, and then they'll turn around and put support. We get a budget.
Yeah.
Difference between black artists and white artists, you know what I'm saying, in this business is we get a budget. It's
They just make the music.
The budget they get is no ceiling on it. It's no cap on it.
No cap.
Yeah.
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 But as far as the music, and that if you have a cap, obviously that has some effect on the quality, right? But I guess for me, it doesn't negate that change I was talking about. It's going to be harder for the kids to sing about the lean and the drugs and calling women out their name on a track that sounds like woman, right? Just the way that sounds, the music sounds. It's going to be harder for them to deliver. So is that?
Well, we got two different agendas, so that's why it's gonna sound all right.
Okay.
They making they're making self-destructive music. I'm making music can either be something that's just like totally negative. It's a weapon. It's about how you use it. You know what I'm saying? A weapon of mass destruction or a love bomb.
A love bomb.
Me, I go around dropping love bombs, love grenades, love fireworks. It's what I'm saying. Like every opportunity that I get. Because that's you are the vibration that you put out there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't call myself self-proclaimed love king just to, out of arrogance. You know what I mean? It's about what I do really off stage that makes me the love king. Like you know what I'm saying? Like because when you think back in time about kings and rulers and you know what I mean, you had two types of king. You had kings that would just like rape and pillage their own people, and like you know what I'm saying, or like you want to be meek and be humble and walk amongst the people and you know,
leader.
And protect your place. People have you show love to the people. To your people, man. Take care of your people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what Love Life Foundation is about, to bring it all back full circle. I won't be, at the end of the day, I won't be judged by what I did on stage. I'll be judged by what I did on
On
stage.
stage, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What are some of the things that the foundation is doing for those that may not know?
Well, one of my cool fun initiatives that I like to do every year. We're responsible for sending off over 12 students now to college. We pay for their books and supplies for their entire first year of college.
Wow.
That's called the Textbook Scholarship Fund. We fight domestic violence towards women, children, and men. You know, I do what we call Queen for a Day spa takeovers all around the country. Those are very cool events.
I can imagine. Queen for a Day.
Yeah, I have a partnership with the AHF, which I work with closely with them to continue promoting, safe sex and bringing more awareness to the disease, and how it's affecting people of black and brown color. Feed the homeless, just anything that's related to our people and people in need, man. Just want to help.
Yeah. As we start to wrap up here, you mentioned the Drake effect, right? And we just watched the music video.
Yeah.
You getting bit by the acting bug?
Yeah, man. I'm in a movie called Love.com, which is coming out, man. That's coming out soon. So I'm looking forward to that.
How'd you fall into that?
I did the Love Jones. Love just follows me everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I did the Love Jones play for about 6 months. That was crazy. I'm looking to do more theater. I've known Sharnice, whose film it is, for some time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And her investor, BK, wonderful guy. So it's again, a new arena, and you'll have things that go wrong. Like we had there's some issues right now that they're fixing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In regards to the film, but at the end of the day, we work around it and get it done, and it's just exploring new territory.
It's something you always wanted to do?
This is bad. Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Something to add to the portfolio.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how does that affecting the visuals you make for your music?
I'm very hands-on with the visuals at this point. I just want stuff that complements the song.
Right.
Storyline is cool. What have you? I think on the visual and on the stage part, like, I haven't even touched the inkling of what I'm capable of.
For sure.
And it's not about like big budgets to even do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, becoming more a student of my creativity. That's all. So I want to, I pray that the ideas, they come and start to manifest.
Yeah. Are those things you're working on with the production company?
Yeah. You go out and find people to find the best of what they do, and then you have them. So we've been doing that. When I do my next tour, I think that people will see, the changes we making internally. Yeah.
And speaking of the tour, you got a couple shows coming up at the
Yeah,
end
man.
of the month.
Yeah. For everybody that's here locally in the DMV, I would humbly like to invite you out to the Howard Theater. Get a ticket now, Ticketmaster.com, for the 5th annual Raheem, DeVaughn and Friends. We got a lot of wonderful acts coming this year. Got a lot of cool friends, man. It's always he got the inside scoop, but we'll be making announcements over the next week or so.
Okay.
And so that's December 20th, the Howard Theater. I will be performing as well. And then the next day we at the Highline Ballroom and do it all over again in New York City.
Up in New York.
Yeah, man. So we got people that come up from DC. They come to the DC show, then they come up. And, you know what I mean? So this is a vibe, man. I'm thankful to my team is phenomenal. I'm nothing without people like Michelle White, M. White. Thank you so much for all you do. My wonderful staff, our volunteers. They keep me going, man. But they make it easy for me to walk in and smile and kiss the babies, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Even if it's just my idea, it's like they help see it out and see it all the way through, so that it's successful, and that when we go to these different cities, we create relationships and can go back.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's really important, to hear from you for any upcoming artists, that because you're from the city, you've been through, all the undergrounds, you've done the U Street and all those things, right? So what advice would you give to young up and coming artists who are,
Man,
trying to make it, right?
Invest in yourself. You know, do your research. Invest in yourself. Create a dope little small team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Dependable people, and put that work in. Make quality music. You know, be a risk taker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Be prepared to be prepared for the no's. Be prepared to fail. These things build character, and you know, absolutely I believe our ingredients is, you know, main ingredients is you need to breed success.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, man.
Where can they pick up Decade of a Love King?
Decade of a Love King, my 6th album, is available everywhere digital, so Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, these different places, any digital platform title. You can also get the album at Walmart and FYE's.
Hard copies.
Yeah, physical copies.
So go get you a hard copy.
The album drops in South Africa on November 30th. I have a new single coming out on November 30th here in the States as well.
Okay.
In support of.
Couple of days from now.
Yeah, and that single is in support of Decade of a Love King Part 2, which will be dropping tentatively between February and March of February and May of 2019.
So we got a sequel coming soon.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's like, you know, truthfully being told, I really approached this Decade of a Love King project like I would a mixtape, like sonically, all original music. So it's feeling so good to me. I was like, man, let's just keep it going, you know, reminiscent of the Street Experience, volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And I just like where it's at right now. But we got a lot of radio bangers, man. I got another smoker that's headed up the charts, man. It's called Joyful Noise. And it features my artist Vidal Andrews. We working with, you know, a saxophonist out of Dallas, Texas. We just started doing some business, and I kind of just taking him under my wing, and you know, so myself and Vidal Andrews, you know, it's gonna be crazy, man. It's called Joyful Noise. It's gonna be nuts, man. I think this thing gonna shoot right up the charts.
Chasing.
Yeah, shoot right up the charts, man. Remember I told you, Joyful Noise. You know what I'm saying?
You heard it here first.
Don't Come Easy right there. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like the I guess, you know, I'll be 10 for 10 soon, like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah. No, but don't with the same results.
But not the same results though, right?
Well, I could ask you questions all night, but you know, you're a busy man.
Yeah.
We only got an hour.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for your time. I really
thank
do
you so much,
appreciate
man.
you.
Appreciate you. Yep. Love life.
And you guys can check out more episodes of Book It Now on our YouTube page, Book It Now with Q. That's the new page we've made here. And our Facebook channel, Book It Now on Facebook. Thank you again for joining us. I love you all, and I will tell you again, if no one tells you that they love you today, remember that I do, and I always will. Good night.